Hey folks, Jay Hobbs from the future here. Just wanted to mention that I was having a little bit of a peaking issue with my mic, especially at the beginning of this recording. It does get better later, but I just wanted to warn you about that. As you can already see, I have completely overhauled my audio setup, so shouldn't happen again. But yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. Just wanted to get ahead of that and make sure that you were warned about that. So might be especially bad on headphones. Sorry folks, but should be better for the future. Thanks. Now enjoy the episode.
Oh, here we go. Now, all right. Now we're...
Yeah, so... and wow. Fight over already.
That's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Cool skip coming right here, off screen. You're supposed to fight that big enemy that just showed up.
I didn't even see the enemy.
But there we go.
That boss looks so easy. Come on. Whoa. Let's just get through that.
Oh, that was terrifying.
Wow.
Okay. Welcome back to Need for Speedrunning. My name is Jay Hobbs. I'm one of your hosts, and I am joined by my friend, the illustrious, the wonderful, the bearded Newby. How are you doing, dude?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm doing great. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited for Need for Speedrunning to be back. And we're in video. You all can see us, which is wild. I can't wait to find out that I had some issue with the recording and we're going to have to do audio and I'll have to cut all of this part out.
Of course.
But no, Newby, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm really glad that you're joining me to, continue Need for Speedrunning and this new chapter of NFSR. So for those who don't know you, because you and I go way back at this point, why don't you give a little bit of a rundown for the audience of just kind of your history with speedrunning and that kind of thing, the quick version.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously great to be here. I'm honored and stoked. I'm super excited. I've been around for a while. I started in 2013 or 2014. I don't know, a while ago.
Yeah. Before me, I think.
Yeah. Getting into DKC Returns and Mario 3D Worlds. Speedrunning were the first game. Well, I mean, I did casual speedrunning long before that, like a lot of people. Really getting into the community, the speedrun community on those games. And then I jumped into Tropical Freeze, which came out in 2014, and really dove into community there and met, Spike Vegeta and a whole bunch of other speedrunners.
Yeah, and that's definitely how we met. We met at, I think, AGDQ 2015 or 16 or something.
I think it was. Yeah. So I went to AGDQ 2015 for the first time. And then Spike was like, hey, you should be friends with this guy. He's pretty cool. and then SGDQ 2015, we met and hung out.
Yes, that's where we got to hang out a lot more for sure.
So since then, I've been speedrunning and gaming, streaming for quite a while. Yeah. I mean, since then, so it's been over 10 years, I guess, at this point. Since I started.
It's wild, right?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is absurd how long it's been at this point for speedrunning. Because there's times where I still think of myself as the new kid on the block because of Spike and stuff, and it's no, I've been here for over 10 years. Well, we are going to jump into a game for anybody who is maybe new to NFSR, just tuning in for the first time now that we're a video podcast. Here is the deal. Basically, this is your favorite podcast about speedrunning. It's not a big competition, so it's pretty easy to say. There aren't that many of us. And the whole idea here is every episode we watch a speed run, just kind of commentate over it and chat about it as it's happening, and then we kind of evaluate it from the perspective of watchability, which is the made up thing that's Spike and I would honestly often talk about for things, where a speed run can be extremely interesting to everybody who knows things about it, but how interesting is it to somebody who maybe doesn't know as much about it? How are the tricks very easy to understand? Are they very difficult? Do they just look like magic, or do they look like nothing? Because sometimes that's a thing in speedrunning. And so we just kind of chat about it. We like to figure out, and it's just a good time, fun way to learn about a lot of new speedruns and check them out. So hope you all enjoy. So we're going to be looking at Hollow Knight Silksong today. Wonderful game, very new, recent game, obviously. And I always love to get kind of everybody's perspective on the podcast of their familiarity with the game and stuff. So Newby, what is your familiarity with Hollow Knight and Silksong and all of that, both as a casual game and a speedrun?
Yeah, so I played the first hour of Hollow Knight. That's my familiarity.
That's it. Okay.
That's all of it.
Yeah. How much have you like seen though? Have you watched? Because obviously it's been around on like GDQ stages and whatnot. Like, how much have you just kind of like tangentially absorbed?
I mean, I've seen it in passing quite a bit. I've watched Hollow Knight streams. I've watched Silksong streams, but haven't really absorbed very much. Yeah, but it seems so fascinating. I'm actually really excited to check it out.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So for me, I played Hollow Knight like late, like not when it first came out, not when everybody was buzzing about it, but I played it a lot later. And I will say that like for me, I felt like my first playthrough of Hollow Knight was my least favorite. I like had so much more fun. I always say this to people who don't like gel with it right away. I had so much more fun on repeat playthroughs because I hate the feeling of getting lost, and these games like do that to you a lot.
Yep, that's why I stopped. I think originally.
Yeah,
first.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then I did some Hollow Knight speedrunning, did some all skill speedrunning with our buddy Kizaron, and for Silksong, I now like 100% of that game, got the platinum and everything, which I don't think I did with Hollow Knight.
Wow.
And I'll be honest, hot take, I think Hollow Knight's probably the better game, but like Silksong is really pretty and very fun. There's a lot going for it. And I have watched some speedruns for Silksong, but I have not done any speedrunning myself. Haven't even, I guess there's like in-game achievements and trophies. Maybe I haven't gotten all the trophies. I don't remember, but like I got 100% for sure because I haven't done like speedrun related achievements. So, but yeah, obviously game is massively popular. It like straight up broke the payment processing for Steam and PlayStation and Nintendo, and Switch and everything. And in terms of like just the basic kind of movement we're going to see, I like to give a little bit of a primer for you here. So we're going to be seeing, like Silksong is a Metroidvania, so there's a lot of different powers that you can collect along the way, right? They're not going to be getting almost any of them. Okay. They're going to be skipping most powers. But what they are going to use is early on, before you have the ability to kind of like run around or to dash or anything, you'll see them jumping and doing a lot of downward slashes because your pogo in this game happens at a diagonal and it actually is faster. There's some nitty gritty to that we'll probably go into as we get going. And then they're going to get the ability to run because it is just like, while it's also required for the game, or it's supposed to be required, it is obviously very fast. There is a charm, or I forget what they're called in this game, but I'm going to call them charms, that allows you to run faster. But sadly, it is not worth it in the speedrun because it uses up your silk, which is a resource that you need in order to use your like bigger abilities. So there are a few different like kind of big attacks you can do using silk in this game, as well as there's one power that you need silk in order to be able to use. And so we'll talk more about that as we get in, but I wanted to make sure that you had like the basics early on of just what they're going to be doing right out the gate.
Yeah. But I've seen that diagonal pogo a lot.
Yeah.
In all of the casual watching of the game, that's all they do. It's just pogo.
We're gonna see a bunch of that at the beginning, but
okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we are gonna jump right into the Hollow Knight Silksong any%. Now this is world record at time of recording, but this game is new, and so it might like take time for leaderboards to catch up. It might things might just change by the time this episode comes out. So we are watching a 54-minute 50-second time from Nebula, and that is currently the world record. So at least on speedrun.com. I guess they are LOL Nebula on speedrun.com.
Classic. Yeah.
WP Nebula on Twitch. Yeah, we're going to give that a watch and we'll be right back. And you're actually going to get to watch along with us. It's going to be great.
Woohoo.
Okay, here we are with the Hollow Knight Silksong 80% world record at time of recording. So this is going to work a little differently than in the past. We're a video podcast now, so we can actually just jump right into it. But I am still going to give a countdown just in case for some reason you're listening on the audio version and want to like watch it on your own at home. That way you can sync things up. But hopefully this should be a lot easier for people at home who want to like watch the run along with us. So this run is going to take 54 minutes, 50 seconds. I assume that's a load list time, so it's probably a little longer than that. And we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, here we go again.
Immediately we can see that it's not in English.
Yeah. I assume it's faster.
Yeah, so I think it's in Chinese. I believe it's in like traditional Chinese or something. From what I understand, not only as with like many games, it's fewer characters per like text box, but also the characters like appear much faster. I think they might like all appear at once, or at least like appear significantly faster.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so that's where I think most of the time save actually comes from.
Yeah, that's fairly common in a bunch of text heavy games.
Yeah, it's often like Japanese is the fastest, but in Hollow Knight, it was traditional Chinese, and I think it's the same in this one.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
All right, off we.
Okay, this is, I guess, the main character. This is who you are.
Yes, this is Hornet. This is John Silksong.
Okay, yeah, John Silksong. Excellent. Oh, already we're just. Here we go.
Okay, so they're really good at it. So I love that they have an input display here.
That's
so
smart.
Look at the input display and notice that they are releasing left and down every time they do one of those like pogos. If they're whenever they're doing a whole bunch in a row,
right?
So if you watch like a lot of runners in this game, they are not going to be doing the pogos this fast. They're going to be doing higher jumps and then doing a pogo, because when you pogo and hit the ground, there's like a little bit of a lag, before you can start moving again.
It looks so normally, cool, but looks hard.
Yeah. So normally
they display up. Yeah.
You jump high, you do a pogo, and then the pogo ends before you hit the ground, which lets you move right away, right? But if you go neutral on the control stick for, the D-pad or control stick if you're playing on controller, or on keyboard as this person most likely is, if you go completely neutral on your movement inputs before you hit the ground, then you can jump again right away. It gets
There's like no cooldown.
Yeah. So when I heard that, I was like, oh man, movement in this game must be so annoying to do. But
yeah, it doesn't look it doesn't look that tough, but when you realize what it actually entails, it's
like if you go try to do this yourself without knowing that about going neutral, it's like it'd be so tough.
It sounds horrible to learn.
And things are going to change a lot once they get dash. But I can say from personal experience, the dash movement tech is like not easier to do because there is additional movement tech with dash.
So this is a really tough, just even movement wise, speedrun.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's just also very like mechanically intensive. And it's the one that sadly I imagine is going to be better on keyboard and mouse, or easier to do on keyboard and mouse. Yeah. Then I guess no mouse. Than on controller.
Mouse,
and there's the first boss down already, Moss Mother.
Nice, quick,
Yeah. Right now, all they have is their needle, so that's going to be the name of the game, is just trying to swing away as much as possible. As you know, health is a resource in speedruns. So
absolutely.
You can totally take damage. Now, you don't want to get hit because this game has like hit stun where it will like kind of freeze the game.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
But that is a minor amount compared to like if you can tank damage so that you can continue attacking through an attack or something, like that's usually going to be worth it.
Yeah. So are all these splits bosses, or is it different points?
So
because I know there's like a lot of bosses in this game, right?
Yeah. There are a lot of bosses. There's probably not like a ton actually required.
Okay.
So this, I guess to preface, obviously this game is going to have spoilers, but I'm going to spoil some things that are not in this run as well. So just anybody watching, if you care about that, careful. I'm not going to like get into a ton of specifics, but there is one big thing we definitely need to mention, which is that this is a run through Act 2 of the game. Because that is where any percent like ends. It's kind of like bad ending. There is an Act 3 in the game, which you might not know when you first play it, because it kind of like you have to find out how to trigger it, how to start Act 3.
I see.
I won't get into the details of what that is, but there is an Act 3. This is not going to include that. The true ending run, which is basically the Act 3 ending, is significantly longer. It's like 3.5 hours.
Holy smokes. So is the Act 2 just like hitting the credits?
Yes.
Sort of thing,
Act
like
2
hits the credits. Okay.
Yes, and then Act 3 has like a different credits, basically.
Okay.
But yeah.
So this is just, get to the credits,
Yeah, everything in Act 2 is also in an Act 3 speedrun, basically.
Right, yeah.
Or like the main things in this speedrun. But So all the splits are various. Some of them are bosses. Some of them are like powers. So Silk Spear is the next split, and that is like we're coming up on that pretty soon. That is going to be the first like main attack like upgrade that you get. I don't know why I'm like blanking on all of the official terminology. I had it all in my head like yesterday, and like of course I'm not.
That's how it works. Right when you're doing the recording, you're gonna forget everything.
Yeah. And also I apologize for any like little coughs and stuff, folks. My voice just being a little weird. So
also, this game just looks so gorgeous.
It looks so good, right?
Holy smokes!
Yeah, there's a fun little skip there too, where they pogoed off of the enemy. It's just to avoid having to like go around. You're gonna see a couple of those.
Yeah, I love those little like environmental or like space.
It's always so nice. It's so cool. And they know about like the devs totally knew about those.
Yeah.
So they got Silk Spear. Silk Spear is that move they just used to get rid of all of the silk.
Okay.
Silk Spear is like you basically only have to get it because of this boss right here.
Oh, okay.
So you have to free the Bell Beast from the silk and then fight it. And this is actually going to become your fast travel method.
Nice. Okay.
Now, there is a quick kill they can potentially do here to avoid phase 2, or to avoid a phase transition. So they're keeping track of all of their damage. And then let's see if they can get it, because it should be coming up like right here, I think.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
That looked quick.
Yes. So there is like they were about to go into the next phase, I think, which would have like dropped all these bells and stuff. It's not like the biggest time loss from my understanding. But it is,
That's
obviously
still time.
It's a speedrun.
Yeah. That's cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Bell Beast kind of day, folks.
Yeah, you could hear them say it's a Bell Beast kind of day. They got
Rainbow
it.
split and everything. Let's go.
Yeah, that was just on the movement up to the Silk Spear, but they might get one on here too. So this is just you're getting a silk heart, which doesn't really matter that much, but basically it just makes your silk bar regenerate one little pip.
Okay.
There are 3 of these in the game, but you're only going to get this one.
Yeah,
I think, if I remember right.
I think I'm ahead of this.
Another thing that you'll probably have noticed they're doing like all over the place, and they're going to keep doing, is the core like way the mechanic works in the game of silk. Silk's your resource to use on for your Silk Spear. It's also the same resource you use to heal. The way you generate it after you use it is hitting enemies. So hit enemies, build up your silk, and then you can use Silk Spear or one of the other abilities if you're playing casually. And you need a full bar in order to be able to heal. They're going to forego healing as much as possible because they want to use the Silk Spear attack for damage, because it does like a lot more damage than your needle does.
That makes sense. Did they just do a save warp there?
I was like
I just noticed they saved and reloaded. I assumed it's save warping.
You're going to see a fair amount of that. So that was probably just to skip like a cutscene more or less in this instance. But the way this game works is whenever you like rest at a bench, you get all your health back, and it kind of saves your location.
Right.
So if you save and quit, then it will reset you back to the bench, and that's often called like bench warping.
Was that in Hollow Knight too? I feel like that was in Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I guess I know more about these games than I thought.
So I was like really happy I knew about that. I used it a ton in my casual of this game.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because it's just like there are a lot of times where I'd have to like go and do a thing, and I'm like, well, I want to go back the other way now, and it's like, screw it, I'll just like bench warp back.
Yeah.
It was really convenient. And now
this movement is still really clean, like very fast.
They're very good at it. I get the impression that this is a very rhythmic, like kind of movement, right? Like you could totally get into a rhythm and start to feel pretty like solid about it.
Yeah.
But because all of the like, the heights of every room are different, and you have all the platforming in between, it's got to be really tough to like do both. Yeah. So they're going to do a little like pogo skip this guy.
Nice.
I don't think that one's a sequence break. I think it's just a little faster than going around. But there is going to be a bigger like sequence break type one that they'll do later. Oh, they got hit. hit by the little deer creature.
This reminds me of like, you ever see the Spectre Knight speedrun from Shovel Knight?
Yeah.
It reminds you a little bit of the movement with that because you're always doing diagonal hits and you can do a lot of
Yeah.
stick stow as well where you bounce off enemies and make ledges and stuff.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's
Very cool. I
very
love seeing
neat.
it. I think it's a really cool speed tech to utilize.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. One of the other cool things that they added in this game
It's
is
using
like
the ceiling to get your
yeah.
spacing. Yeah.
So you can grab ledges and you can actually jump out of a ledge grab. So you'll see them do that a lot,
yeah.
and you can
Cool.
still get like a full height jump. This is a little forced arena as they're heading towards the dash ability.
Oh,
And-
dash.
So they
Here we go.
know where like all of the enemies spawn in the same location, I believe. And so they just kind of like know exactly how to
Okay, yeah. So it's
best
not
use
like-
their silk spear to hit multiple enemies and stuff like that. Yeah, it is pretty solid movement. Like I'm
cool.
glad,
It's really, yeah.
I'm glad for their case that it ends like right here, but for their sake. But it's okay because the rest of the movement tech is also extremely cool.
So in terms of watchability, I feel like that's a really cool, like 10 minutes of just spear thing, right?
Yeah,
Which is
for
like
sure.
pretty neat. And now it's going to switch up. And I think that's really interesting.
it lasts a good amount of time. I feel like
Yeah.
it could get old, but it
Right.
lasts like a good amount
That's
of time.
kind of how I feel. Oh, here we go. Now, all right. Now we're.
Yeah. So, this has gone through some evolution. So normally, like casually, you just hold the run button basically,
just
and
run.
you start off with a little dash, and then you like keep running. And it's really fast. Like you can move really fast in this game compared to Hollow Knight a lot of the
Yeah.
time. And then even I noticed casually, if you're jumping, you're gonna like lose some speed, but you can dash again to do that little like flip forward.
Interesting. Okay.
Lace one fight, by the way. This is a cool, like, I don't know, that they're just really fast at this fight.
This is
I think
pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think they want to hit them in the lava, but I don't remember if it actually is like faster or not, but I think it might do some additional damage. I could be wrong about that though. And
Wow.
fight over already.
That's beautiful.
I'd say this is like one of the first ones that people die to a little bit. It's not like
Right.
the hardest fight, but it's
It
early
looks
enough.
tough.
to often-
Like,
yeah.
it's fast. That's for sure.
Yeah. And then you have to hit a lever there to open the door. You're going to see them do this a couple times where like they hit the lever, they run back out of the room and run back in because it skips this long animation of the bell ringing and the door opening.
Right.
But
Okay, so
to get
what I'm
back to
noticing from the movement, what I'm noticing
yeah.
is it's a dash, small jump to get your dash again as you run. So you're running, you do a small jump, and then you dash again over and over. That's kind of what it looks like.
It's pretty close to that. It's a I believe what they do, because this went through some evolutions. I believe
Okay.
they jump, they do a pogo down,
Oh,
and then dash, and then they out of that dash jump, do a pogo down, dash,
Right.
jump, do a pogo down, dash. I believe that's what it is.
Okay.
It used to just be you would run, and then it was like, oh, actually, you want to do quick jump dashes. So like ta 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 ta.
right. That's kind of what I felt like it was. Yep.
Yes, and then they found
I-
that if you like add the pogo in as well, like the downwards pogo, you get that extra little like distance. And I
Yeah.
don't know if it adds speed or if it's just that little distance.
I'm noticing the pogo now that you say
Yeah.
that too. Yeah. That's
It's
really cool.
It's really neat and seems like a nightmare to pull off.
It seems super complex. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Even just the input display, it's like kind of all over the place.
yeah. Oh, that was cool. Like, so that they have to break open a wall over there, but it takes a second to open. So they just like went and
Head
hit it
back
from
and finish
afar.
something else. Mhm.
Yeah. So what they're doing in this room, you notice they actually stopped and killed some enemies for a little bit. What's going on?
What's going on?
So they need to get a power called Drifter's Cloak, which is basically float or glide. And in order to get it, you have this small little side quest where you have to pick up spines from these enemies, like the little
Yeah.
spines that they shoot out into the ground.
Okay.
From what I understand,
I'm a lot better
so
with
the
that.
way the enemies
That's okay.
spawn their spines is random because they have a few different patterns they can do. And so the spines like can either they can have
not bad.
fewer or more. Obviously you want them to have more, and
Just
they
as
can
fine as
have
how I
patterns
did a
that
little
like
bit.
shoot them further away or like kind of a little bit closer to you. So that part is like the one big thing of RNG in this run. And I think runners really are annoyed by it.
That's fair.
From what I
That's-
have seen.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah.
Because like if you get really lucky, you might not have to like room transition at all. They had to room transition to respawn the enemies. There are more above, but it would be slower to get up there. If you don't collect the spines right, they can fall into the airstreams and float up. Cool skip coming right here, off screen. You're supposed to fight that big enemy that just showed up.
I didn't even see the enemy.
Yeah. They just skip them entirely.
Cool.
That's one of those ones that I think is like more impressive to people who have played the game because they remember what that fight is. It's a very big like it was like in the trailer and stuff. It's like a bit more cinematic kind of fight.
I see.
Skip is free.
And there are a couple methods of doing that skip, and usually like the main way of doing it involves needing enough silk to heal. And you kind of use the fact that when you heal, it like keeps your momentum a little bit before like fully stopping you in midair. And it uses that to like help make that gap. But there's a much harder version that involves not healing that is obviously faster because you don't have to build up the silk and everything.
Yeah. Is that what they did here?
They did the much harder version. Yeah. They didn't have enough silk to heal.
Do you have this glide ability sort of from the beginning, like the float?
No. So this is what they got the spines for.
Okay. that makes sense. All right. I was going to say, that's new. And that was part of the skip too, I think.
Yes, they did have to do some floating. So if you're in the wind streams here, you go up. Otherwise, you just kind of like slowly float down, and you can move horizontally. And yeah, it's called Drifter's Cloak. That's the like previous split name and stuff.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, I see the little image too.
Yep, it is I hope they do some floating. I mean, floating's slow, so they're not gonna do it a lot. But
yeah.
It is an adorable animation.
Absolutely. I mean, most platformer games that have that kind of ability utilize it for things like making, ledges you can't really easily make normally and stuff. Like there's so many uses usually for even slow abilities like that, I notice.
Exactly.
There
was early on, they were trying to figure out, like there were a couple different routes that they were thinking about. And there was a route that involved skipping Drifter's Cloak entirely that they were really trying to make work. I believe it is technically maybe still faster, but it also you have to down patch to 1.0 for it. Oh. And it's like harder.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. You might even skip run if you do that. I don't think so though. I don't think you skip the dash. I think you still get that. But the reason it got patched is because the only reason it worked is there was like one really weird piece of geometry somewhere that allowed them to do a wall jump later. A wall jump in order to like get up to a wall that you normally instead needed like something else for, like Drifter's Cloak, I think. So, and you might have even had to also get like there's some skips that also involve getting a specific crest, which we won't really get into because it's not going to matter. But the category or the route that most people have been doing, from my understanding, is this one. I don't know if that is because it's faster or if the other one is just so much harder that like right now people are not worried and they're hoping they can make this one faster. But this is definitely the route that I've seen before, like the one that more used to.
Right.
So they nerfed this boss in a patch.
Did they? Oh.
And yeah, because this game is a lot harder than Hollow Knight, which was already known for being hard.
That is the sentiment I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, and part of it is just that so many fucking enemies do 2 hearts of damage, like 2 masks of damage.
That's brutal. That's so brutal.
Yeah, and I think they like nerfed this guy a bit to make some of his attacks not do 2 or something like that.
That's nice of them.
This was definitely an early like annoyance for me.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, this is very clean.
But yeah, the enemy does only have a few attacks. So like once you do get them down, obviously like a runner is going to be able to just constantly do damage. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I love as somebody who plays mostly platformers and speedruns mostly platformers, DK, Shovel Knight, all sorts of games like that. It's just watching the movement is so beautiful to me.
It is.
I love the climbing and like the wall climbs and the jumping out of the ledge grabs and stuff and just weaving through platforms and stuff. It's so satisfying to watch.
I really like the movement in Silksong. I think I think there's some aspects of Hollow Knight's movement that are more interesting, but for the most part, I think Silksong's is like much cooler.
Yeah.
And you can just go so fast. Like it's
wild. That was slick. That was
a cool one. I don't think I had seen that one.
Nice.
I don't remember this They probably had to do this arena, and I just don't remember it. But
Right.
right now, I'm not remembering it.
For a game I haven't played, it definitely it's actually easier to follow than I think I may have expected.
Oh, okay.
For that reason, just because it's not very complex if you played enough, Metroids and
Yeah.
Marios and stuff, and indie platformers as well, right?
Yeah, and there's always going to be the aspect of like you don't know the rooms, so you don't know where they're going. But like I think even for a casual person, you don't necessarily remember all of the map, and you might have a hard time of knowing where they're going.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Yeah,
like I only know like as the biomes change, right? Like as the full areas change, then I'm like, oh right, this is where they are.
Yeah.
Right now they're in an area called Shellwood, and we're here because this is where you get your wall jump. This is a cool little section, just a bunch of
so cool. Yeah,
pogos in a row. They are going to do another skip with an enemy coming up here. Right, pretty much like right here. So they're doing this taunt.
Okay.
I think everybody just calls it like Karama or whatever. Oh, cool. It's they
coming.
used to have to taunt a ton of times, but now they can attack, I guess, to keep their attention. So the taunt uses like one little thing of silk. It's basically a hidden ability in the game. You press R3 and you get it. It does nothing except it does attract the attention of enemies. So they use it in order to get that enemy to show up. Oh, that was a cool tank into a damage boost up there.
Like you get an extra bounce or jump or something of doing that?
So
is that how it works?
So you can heal in midair, and it just freezes you in midair in this game. They healed in midair, but then they got hit during the heal, which does this like bigger animation. But mostly they were facing to the right, so the heal in midair hit them off to the left, and it got them just enough height to grab that ledge.
That's really cool. That's
That's new. I hadn't seen that before. I'd seen most runners go around. That wasn't like a huge skip, but it's still a very cool one.
Yeah, that's cool.
And now they have the wall jump. So now, enemy pogos are not going to be nearly as needed. But I love that they found a use for the taunt just to like bait enemies that would normally
one enemy over.
be out of range. Yeah.
Yep.
And they're heading towards their next boss, Widow. So this is the Belvane above Belheart, which is kind of like this just town. Belheart is like one of your kind of central towns. And this Widow fight, I think, is not considered too bad for runners, that is. But there is definitely like, the other big thing of RNG in this run all over is that bosses use random moves unless they have a specific kind of AI you can like manipulate. So I think obviously you want to see him use the ones you can actually punish. I think that like running across one is pretty slow because you can only get like one hit in,
one or
and
two
you gotta
pokes
wait.
in. Yeah, I'm seeing that. Yeah.
Another thing you might have noticed they're doing with the Silk Spear attack is if they can, they're going to try to use it when an enemy is near a wall, because then the Silk Spear will hit the wall and let them start attacking faster.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. That's cool, though.
Yeah, it relies on enemy position, so you can't always do it, but that's the fight.
Just stabbing her in the face right there.
Oh, and now as one does, you steal all of their essence.
Right, of course, yeah.
Badly played. I missed a couple of spheres. But also
naturally.
Pretty bad RNG.
See, and that was pretty sick, and they're like, oh, that was badly played.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
That was a cool one, though. I love all the like ways to try to weave in extra attacks. And you got to see a little bit of Drifter's Cloak. You get to see their little floating animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so another one of these things, these like little, I don't know what to call them, like dream sequences or something. But this is to get the needle-in ability. That is why they had to do this. It is a required ability for the game. I mean, technically there are, I've seen a video. Ooh, they messed up. World record's free. Let's go.
Get on that. Let's go.
Yeah. Needle-in in this game is just an ability that lets you like play some music. It's mostly used for like opening certain doors around the world, and you can also like get some extra lore with it from various like enemies and NPCs and stuff. But for their purposes, they need it for doors. I remember seeing a
you do
YouTube video. There's like
anything,
technically a way to like
saving
not
26 seconds
like to not need needling in the game because the game will
Okay.
assume you have it like at the
Oh,
end,
yeah.
where you really really need it.
Yep.
But I believe in a run, it's just like all of the things you would have to do in order to skip it are like way slower. So
Yeah, but that's fair. Yeah.
it technically has a combat use. You will not see it here. I don't even know if a lot of people know it has a combat use, but it can be used to kind of like stun enemies. But honestly, hot take, I don't think its combat use is like usable at all because they stop being stunned like as soon as you stop playing. So you can't even like, and it takes so long to get them stunned. It's like, there's just no point to it. It's unfortunate because I would have liked to see it have a stronger use in combat, but
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate.
yeah. Oh, so I thought you were going to get to see the animation that they've been skipping by running in and out of the room, but no, they're going to save load instead.
Yeah. I was going to say.
The game saves whenever you exit, like, so it's pretty much always safe to do a save load as long as you know where you're going to
It like auto saves
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
good.
they just did that to skip the animation because the loadless timer they use does not count. I think it does count the time you're on the main menu, but not like the load in and out. So it's faster than watching the animation.
Yeah.
And now this is Bellheart. This is kind of normally your big second, like kind of town hub area.
World, yeah. So,
Yeah. They're talking to Pliny here in order to sharpen their needle.
Oh.
So they do have to watch this cutscene, so you get to actually see it. which is
Cool.
nice. Yeah. This is probably like one of the few little downtime things in the run.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
funny.
like 10-second cutscene or whatever.
I'm noticing there's a lot of bells in this game. I feel like that's a theme.
Yes. The game has a lot of like religious themes, and I think the bells are part of that.
Yeah, it's fair, yeah. Were
so
we here
that-
before? This looks like we were here.
We were in Shellwood. I don't know if I think we might have been even in this room.
This room looks
yeah.
very familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, because they opened a door to Bellheart, I think, before.
Okay.
So that way when they exited.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they are basically trying to get into like Act 2 soon.
Yeah.
There are actually 2 ways into Act 2 in this game, which like a lot of people casually won't know. The
That's interesting.
kind of main one, from what I understand, is going through a boss called Lost Judge. And in order to do that, you have like to open this door that lets you fight Lost Judge. You have to ring all of those big bells. The room they just went in, hit the switch.
Okay.
So there's like 5 or 6 or whatever of those big bells. I don't remember how many. And normally as you're going through, you do it anyways because they give you a bench, which lets you rest and get your health back.
Yeah.
But those bells ringing are what ends up like opening a door. There is another way that is the way I used casually because I didn't find this entire area they're in until like way later. And the other way I thought would be faster for runs, and I think they originally started out doing it maybe. But it turns out it's just not faster than going through Lost Judge. The other way also has a boss fight. It's just
I see.
a different fight, and it's a more like secret way to get into. I don't remember Oh, no, I remember what it is. It's because there's an area called the Mist that's like, the Zelda Lost Woods?
Yep.
It's like that, except if the order was random. So you don't know, like, I need to take a right exit here. Like, you actually have to... They knew how to, like, observe some of the RNG with it to make it faster, but it was still always a big pain.
You still have to navigate it and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, you had to use the needle in to, like, make some little... creatures, some Lumaflies move to tell you which direction to go. It was a huge point of like reset point for runners. It was a big thing of RNG, and I guess they found that it was actually just faster to go this other way anyways.
So they won't be going there at all, I guess. That's not even a thing. Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Interesting. Oh, here we go.
But early on, it was definitely the way they went.
Interesting. I mean, this game hasn't been out that long either, so it's interesting that the routing changes have already sort of, flipped.
Yeah, it's only been like what, a month or so that it's
less than a month,
like,
even. I don't know.
That,
not very long. Yeah.
By the time this comes out, I think it'll have been more than a month. But
yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is Lost Judge. This is like, again, I found this boss a lot later, so I think I was
Probably
Like,
easier for you.
I didn't think it was too bad. Like I definitely died a couple times, but
I have heard.
yeah,
I
think
heard
it was.
about Lost Judge. Yeah.
I think it's pretty notoriously like a difficult one for most
Right.
people when they reach it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like I think I was able to like dash through those by the time I got here or something. I really don't remember.
Okay.
But there we go.
That boss looks so easy. Come on.
Yeah, and then just it's exploding off screen. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I think the big
Pay
thing
no
is that
attention.
explosion will do like 3 damage and kill you. And a lot of people don't like see it coming, but
That's actually pretty annoying.
but I mean, it like I feel like it's obvious that
Sure.
that it's going to explode. They,
All right,
they do a
that's
good
fair.
job of telegraphing it.
That's fair.
And now they're heading into Act 2. Act 2 is like when you find the Citadel, which is like the main area you've been trying to get
Not
to.
set anymore.
And yeah, they're in Act 2 now. So the whole idea here is they have to get to the top of the Citadel.
Okay.
And to get to the top, they need 3 pieces of a song, like basically 3 melodies, which is why they need the needle in, or it's like part of. It's why you're supposed to need the needle in, even though I think technically you can use the melodies without it. But
Yeah, that makes sense. So do we, in terms of movement, are we like capped out on what we're doing with the movement stuff?
no, so there's going to be one more movement ability they're going to get. You can see on
cool.
the splits a split called Claw Line that's coming
Okay.
up.
Okay.
That'll be the last movement ability they get.
I can make some educated guesses as to what that might be. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if
Yeah,
I-
we'll see. We'll see. It is, because it's a movement ability, though, I think it is like out of the 3 melodies, which you can do in basically any order. I do think that they try to like get that first.
yeah, that would make sense. Yep.
And then here's Lace again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just dropping in for some lore, though. Well, yeah, you see how like fast that text is moving? It's just
I
nowhere near
noticed
that fast
that.
in English.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
There's not
Hey, can
even that much of it in any percent. Like in True Ending, it's a much bigger deal. But
And can you skip that text mostly, like mash through it, or?
you can still mash through it in English and stuff. It just takes a lot longer to like
Wow, that's interesting.
let you mash through it. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't like all spawn at once.
Yeah.
I think they pretty much like the dialogue system is more or less unchanged from Holiday from what it seems like, which is like that makes sense. Why? You know,
Yeah, that's
they had a
no need to
perfectly
change
fine
it.
working system.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Citadel just has some nice like movement. You can
Oh,
pogo off
nice.
the spikes.
Yeah,
So
that's cool. That's a slick move.
Yeah. In both of these games, the main, like, most of the time, if you see, like, kind of bigger individual spikes, you can usually pogo off them.
Yep, I was
Whereas
gonna
if
say.
it's something that's more, like natural and has, like, a bunch of tiny spikes, it's usually something you can't pogo off of.
I see. Yeah.
It's like a hazard.
Just walking right
I
past
tried
these
to
guys.
go through those, like... They do that like pogo and then like dash through them or something with
Yeah.
iframes. It's like not nearly as easy as they make it look there. Once I learned about that, I tried to do it because you run through there a lot casually.
Right.
And I was like, I got hit every time. I don't know how they were doing that.
And they make it look pretty easy. So
So this is one of my favorite bosses in the game, Cogwork Dancers. This is a very cool one. And they did a scream skip at the start where they stood where they knew the boss would spawn, which hit them. And normally when the boss is like screaming at the beginning, you can't do anything. But
Right.
because you get hit, it knocks you out of the cutscene and you can start attacking them right away.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed they're only going for the one enemy here. Does that
Yeah.
make a difference?
So they don't have a shared health
under
bar.
it.
And to progress from phase to phase, you have to just knock out one of them.
I got you.
So every hit on the wrong one is going to just be like,
It's a waste.
a waste of
essentially.
time for them.
Okay, cool.
And now
Yeah.
they move it an offset direction or offset pattern, which is cool. This was just a really fun, like well-designed fight. I don't think it's like the hardest thing in the world, but I just
That's a
fight
very
was
cool fight. It looks really impressive.
And now it's time for sadness, which is
Oh no!
the last dancer has no buddy anymore.
Oh no!
There's definitely some RNG on, like, there's a big attack they can use where they, like, warp into the middle and, like, attack, and you can't really hit them for a bit. So I don't think I saw that, like, at all. So
Wow.
they got pretty lucky in
That's
that
good.
regard. But they
Nice.
did miss a couple silk spears as well. So
Immediately save warping out of that. Yep.
yeah, as soon as they know that the game like triggered,
Saved.
yeah,
whatever.
like got hit the flag or the story flag.
Yeah.
And then do they have to? Okay, so they do. So this is where like you get told your mission to collect the 3 melodies.
Okay.
I didn't know if they actually had to like interact with this or not, but I guess you do. I think it opens like some doors. Yeah, that's why.
Aha.
Oh,
Like this is so
beautiful
cool.
movement. This is the coolest movement area in the game, in my opinion. In the run,
That's so cool.
So, because they, especially if they, because I think they'll like come back here after getting claw line, unless they rerouted stuff. I don't know.
Interesting. This is some pretty.
think they do.
This is tight movement.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know you could pogo off the bottom gears.
The bottom cogs there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's pretty cool.
All right. A little bit of an arena fight here. Forced fight. So these enemies are like a lot more obnoxious. You know, a bunch of them will do 2 health, or they'll like fly away and like throw bells at you and stuff. They can get pretty annoying. But thankfully this is a pretty big arena. Yeah, like that enemy carrying the bell, the flying one that's now dead. Ugh,
Yeah.
hate
Wow.
those things. So annoying.
And there's like a lot of enemies in this one. This is probably really annoying.
Yeah, there is like an arena in the Citadel that is notorious that we'll get to a little later.
Yeah.
But
Oh, it's the
this one
guy
can
from
still
the
be a little
background.
yeah.
Okay, he's gone. That was quicker than the
Yeah.
other enemies, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know why they kind of give that guy some spectacle, but he's like kind of just a normal enemy. So
Yeah.
I remember thinking that was a bit weird casually.
Oh, another one of them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few of them. Yeah, that movement tech must be like, I think it would be very hard to pull off.
Yeah.
But it's always cool whenever you get like a long straight section, you could just see him do it like over and over again.
Yeah, and I'm watching the input display. Just it's like 3 buttons rhythmically almost, right?
Yeah. The problem, like when I was trying some of it on controller, is that on controller, one of those buttons is R2,
Okay.
which is like hard to do in a rhythmic kind of like fast way. So I feel like I would rebind that or something maybe. Time for the most fun boss of the game in terms of his characterization. This is Trobio.
Okay.
He's just like overly dramatic.
Yeah, yeah.
and
The
it's clearly
spotlight
all
and
supposed to be like a
stuff. Yeah.
stage and stuff.
That's very funny.
Yeah. But he can be really tough. And especially they never get any health upgrades in this whole run.
I was actually thinking about that not too long ago. Like, I guess it's all safety. There's no reason to get health.
Yeah, and it takes a long time to get health upgrades in this game because you have to get 4 masks.
Oh yeah, it's like heart pieces. Or
4
something.
mask shards. Yeah, it's exactly like heart pieces. So it's
Right.
yeah, it's really
That is long. It's a lot of
Yeah.
detour.
the other thing that they used to do that I don't believe they do anymore, we would have seen it happen probably already, is that they used to get 2 needle upgrades.
Okay.
The first one is like kind of free, but the second one you have to get some pale oil, just an item, and
Right.
I
come
could've
back,
played
and
more
I think you
aggressively
might
if I
even have to pay for it as well.
Oh.
Trobio is so good. They don't even pick up his item. They used to, because it does it basically does damage around you when you heal,
Oh.
and it does like a pretty good amount of damage.
I have seen that too. Yeah, on
yeah.
streams and stuff. Yeah.
And especially like it casually, like there's a way to get an upgraded version of it later, and
Seems nice
it's-
casually too.
it does a ton of damage once you have like the upgraded version and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned, yeah, you know, it was basically an earlier safety kind of strat, was pick it up just to get some extra damage if you heal in a fight. But now they're like, well, I'm never going to heal in a fight, so
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
or they're going to try not to.
It's been a month. We're not doing safeties anymore.
I know. Right? And even the first like needle upgrade, they're not sure about, right? Like they think it could be faster to skip that one too.
That's interesting too. Yeah.
But that one being at least like you just have to get to Bellheart, which you are going to have to do anyways, like makes it potentially worth it. Wow, I can't believe they didn't get hit through that enemy.
That was a cool room. Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah, those cycles lining up was really sick.
Mm-hmm. Is this game also like cycle based?
Not
like
really.
Rooms?
I think most of them. There's a few rooms that have cycles, mostly those ones with the lava, and I think they're based on when you go into the room, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not like that big a deal.
Yeah, okay.
And here's Clawline.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
So this is basically a grapple.
That's what I was guessing. That's what I would have figured.
That's cool that they went up the left side. That is not the way you normally go through there, because it basically lets you grapple onto those little rings. Mm-hmm. It uses one silk to use, and that will be like important later because there are times where you have to like wait for your one little pip of silk to regenerate.
Yeah.
In order to use another one. But the other sick thing is it's really useful in combat because it will grapple to the enemy and like pull you to them. So it can be a good way to like deal with aerial enemies or just get, closer to an enemy.
That's
that area is
cool.
pretty cool too.
Wow,
with
nice.
the explodey boys.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they have Clawline, I think we should see them go back to that like cogwork core, like the more like machinery kind of area.
So what can
unless
you
things have changed
Clawline onto? Like there's just it doesn't seem I don't notice what you can actually hook onto.
Yeah, so either you can just use it in midair and it'll like just be a horizontal dash basically, like an extra dash. But again, you need silk to use it. So like they're at one pip of silk right now. So if they used it, they'd have to then wait for their silk to regenerate to use it again. Or you can use it on one of the rings if you see like a little ring hanging around anywhere.
Okay. So you can't just use it willy-nilly. I got you.
Yeah, like you can use it pretty frequently, but yeah, like if you hit an enemy, you get some silk back, so then you can like use it again, which is nice. But
right.
Yeah, if you want to like take a look at the little like silk meter in the top left here and there, and just you should be able to see every now and then when they use it, it then has that little like regenerating animation. This is the first melody. This was actually the last one I got, I think.
Oh yeah.
But basically they had to go pick up that little cylinder item a second ago, and they bring it to this guy. And then they learn the melody.
Cool. I just play it on your little weapon.
Yeah. You're needling.
Your needle. Yeah.
All right, Cogs.
Yeah.
This game is very cool.
Yeah, and once you get to the Citadel too, it is neat how like you have a couple of these small pieces of downtime. I feel like it's pretty good for the pacing of the run.
Especially near the end, yeah. Yeah.
This run is like significantly longer than Hollow Knight.
Oh, is
I want to
it?
say I want to say the like equivalent category in Hollow Knight of like any percent no major glitches is like closer to like 40 minutes or something.
Interesting.
Maybe even shorter. I really don't remember. It might be even shorter than that. It might be like more like in the 20 to 30 range.
So are the only big categories in this game? Here we go.
I was just like, you can use Clawline to bounce off of cogs and stuff, which I think is just so cool.
That's impressive. That's really slick.
So you're going to see some big like skips with it potentially. Unless like, I don't know, unless stuff got routed differently. But you were asking?
I was asking like, is 80% and I guess like the true ending the only really two main categories in this game?
I think it's the two main ones. I think people are probably working on 100%, but it'll be a lot. So,
yeah.
But like true ending in this game is as long as like 112% in Hollow Knight.
Okay.
So it's
wow.
Pretty wild.
There's a lot going on here.
Right? I think this room is just so sick in the speedrun. Like,
yeah. How dangerous is this? Do you just die?
Extremely dangerous. you don't die, but it's like a hazard warp, basically.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so like you will hit the gear, it'll do damage, and you'll respawn at like the last safe platform you're on, or like a known location.
That's brutal.
Yeah, and then they hit all of those to line them up in a pattern that they do absurdly fast because it's always the same, so they know what to do.
Good.
And then they leave the room because all of those cylinders like need to drop down. It's a big long animation, so they leave the room and come back to skip
Skips the animation. Yeah, that's cool.
And this is the second melody.
Jam out. Yeah.
But I love that like movement there with all of the cogs, because there's a lot of spots where like they claw line into a wall of cogs to pogo off of them, which thankfully that works. If that didn't work, right, like you know,
you can't do any of this. Yeah.
They couldn't do it nearly as much. And then they're only on one silk, so there's a lot of times where they have to like wait for their silk to come back to claw line again, so they have to just like pogo off the spikes then,
right?
Which is like even more dangerous in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is really cool because now the movement, you sort of see everything at once a lot.
Yeah.
You know, the dashing, the claw lining, the pogoing, all intermingled, right? Which is really cool.
Yeah, now it's like even more important to like hit some enemies along the way for silk. Like you can see they didn't just hit that enemy once, they hit them again on their way out, like that one too.
There was another one too, he hit from like below the floor a bunch before getting up. Yeah.
And then this is why you need claw line. I believe you might have also needed it for one of the others, but like you absolutely need it to get up here, I think. So
okay.
Like there might be other ways to get around it that involve getting double jump or something, but like you would have to, that would take way longer.
Love using enemies for height.
Yeah. Very common theme in both of the Hollow Knight games.
And a lot of like, you know, indie platformers that have some sort of pogo type ability. It's quite common.
Oh, for sure.
Whoa.
Oh.
Let's just get through that. Yeah.
I guess you can. I guess the collision there is just you can slip right through it.
Nice.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going for that and like
right
having to pogo if you don't make it. Right? Maybe there's a lineup and they knew, but
probably some kind of setup. Yeah.
All right. So I think this is High Hall's Arena, which is like a very notorious arena. This is like the toughest arena in the game in a lot of ways, or at least in the main like required any percent, right?
Right.
And it is very tricky just because it's also just got like some hard enemies. The fact that they're just getting their heal tutorial now is wild.
That's really funny,
like
actually.
The first time they got low enough.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, there's just a lot of really tough enemies in here, and there's a whole bunch of them, and some of them spawn together, but others spawn like randomly, or not randomly, but like they spawn desynced from like the rest of the enemies in the wave. Those guys float off and are annoying. And then there's this thing, which is not that bad on its own, but it does do 2 damage with basically all of its attacks.
Oh, great.
But at the end of this, there's 2 of them. And it's all still part of the same arena. So it's like, this arena
is a gauntlet.
brutal. Yeah. Especially because they want to use their silk for damage, right? They don't want to have to heal. So
yeah, for sure.
You can see them trying to line the enemies up there.
Yep.
And then 2 bell guys in this one. Fuckers, dude.
Yeah, your favorite. Your absolute favorite enemies.
The other thing is normally you would have like tools equipped onto your crest. They don't have any tools, which are some of them are how you deal with flying enemies more. There's so many flying enemies in this arena and in this game. It's very obnoxious.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine there's so many other random abilities and things that just you don't have, right? You haven't collected anything
there are
else.
A ton of different tools in this game that you just like, you don't get any of them in any percent.
You just try to use, your base ability as much as possible and as fast as possible.
They do get like 1 or 2 in True Ending, but
sure.
Yeah. So here's the 2.
Luckily, they're like a little bit slow, so you kind of have some time to plan something out.
Yeah, I think it's more of like just if their attacks happen to line up in a bad pattern. But yeah, see, like look at that, 2 health. If they got hit by 1 more of those, they'd be dead. So
wow.
But they did it. High Halls Arena.
That's really cool. Wow.
Yeah, that fight is very, very tough.
And it was fast. Like, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Is this
I know
next
that's the
song?
other thing. It's definitely that pattern of that speedruns go through where it's like, okay, for a while
Yep,
they're just
I'm
trying to see
saving
how
those
can
as
we
well.
survive this fight
Yeah.
with 5 health and like 1
Right.
needle upgrade and not a
Yeah.
whole lot else. And
Yep.
then it's okay, now how do we do it fast?
Mhm. How do we get better at it? Yep.
Yeah. Looks like their previous PB was 55:23, so
It seems like a nice chunky time save.
yeah, they're on a real solid
Yeah.
pace with all of this.
80% no major glitches. Does that mean there is a category with major glitches?
Oh
already?
yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think some glitches that are more or less similar to ones from Hollow Knight might have come in. So the any percent of this run is like of this game is 10 minutes,
Okay. Yep. It's one of those.
and I watched it. It's indecipherable. like,
Wow.
there's no point in us even watching because I could not tell you what in the hell was going on. Like,
That
it's
bad,
one of those
eh?
where you would need somebody
Already
who
better. Yep.
knows knows it extremely well, and then also probably have to watch it with pausing.
Okay.
Like,
It's probably kind of like watching like Ocarina of Time,
yeah, kind of.
5 minutes. We're just like do random
we're
stuff and then eventually you're at the credits. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. Like, they do a lot of completely blind movement and stuff, where a
Wow.
lot of menu manipulation stuff. So
Okay.
this is your like biggest downtime moment in the game. So you gotta, like,
Yeah.
play this whole melody, and then they're gonna go into a cutscene. And I always thought this was like really abrupt. After they skip the cutscene, it's like right into the fight. So this
wow.
next fight is like probably one of the coolest in the run because it's a very fast-paced one. And it's also one of the harder ones like throughout this kind of point in the game. I don't know if runners consider it harder or not, but like casually, it's a very tough one.
Yeah.
And then I'd say the final boss is like a little easier.
Oh, interesting.
comparatively. Yeah, but I did appreciate that when I was playing it.
That's fair. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a
here
refight
we
with
go.
Lace,
Oh, wow.
and she's like way faster now.
Interesting.
They also really don't want to knock her off the edge if they can, because I think it like doesn't do any extra damage, just means they don't get to punish.
Spends more time. Yeah.
Yeah. Into phase 2 already.
Wow.
Down to 2 health.
So I guess it's a one shot now.
Oh, down to
man.
1 health. No. This
Okay,
boss does
so Lace is
some
one.
of their attacks. Running into them does 1 for Lace, but some of their attacks do 2.
I see.
But I think they've only gotten damaged by running into the boss. Oh, that was terrifying.
Wow.
Okay. There they go. Yeah, that fight's sick.
Nice.
It's just so fast paced with having claw line and everything now, so you can really like stay on top of a boss. It's just super cool.
Wow.
And then, oh, that's right, you do get a second silk heart because you have to get this one. They would skip this silk heart if they could, but you literally like have to get it in order
To progress.
for the game to move on to the final boss.
Yeah, that's fair.
You guys are overreacting. I wasn't fucking terrified.
I love it. I love speedrunner
Yeah.
commentary.
I also think that was a little bit of a cocky because it went well rather than
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think they totally were terrified.
Yeah, great. Yeah. No problem.
Now I don't know if the game heals you here. It might, so they might get lucky and like have all their health back. But the game does not give you like free heals a lot of the time. You often have to sit
Right.
at a bench.
Oh,
Okay,
it does.
it does. This is one of the spots. So that's
So
handy.
nice of them.
Yeah. So now that you have 2 silk hearts, like 2 little pips of your silk will regenerate instead of only 1. But it still does it 1 at a time. So for once they're in like a fight, it's not going to be any different because they're going to be building silk a lot faster just by attacking.
Right.
Nice little climb here to
Yeah.
the end.
Again, using all the abilities is so cool to
Yeah.
watch.
And final boss time.
All right. Wow. Already.
Yeah. So a lot of the attacks for Grandmother Silk do 2 damage. I think some of them might do 1. I'm trying to remember. But the big thing about Grandmother Silk is that she does not have like contact damage like all the other enemies in the game do.
Right. Okay.
So you can like stay right
nice.
on top of her and wail on her, which I love.
That's really cool.
I hate contact damage. I just think it's bad, personally.
Fair. I mean, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I get why it's there, but it's.
I feel like it's just
so I really like this boss.
every game just has it, and you just kind of have to. It's just part of video games in a sense.
I come
don't
from
know.
a lot of games that don't have it, which is why I like because a lot of 3D games like Dark Souls stuff, Kingdom Hearts stuff, like they don't have it, right?
Right.
What this boss does have is it is one of the few fights in the game that does have a 3 health attack.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. I don't know if we're even going to see it, but if, like, that's probably why they healed there. It's just in
Makes
case.
sense. Yep.
It's not, like, the hardest one to dodge if it does show up, but I'll point it out if it happens.
But it's
Or,
still
like,
there,
if we
I assume,
see,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think these needles do 2 damage each, so you have to, like, be paying attention to them while also trying to wail on the boss.
Yeah, this is really impressive. Like, to coordinate everything.
Yeah. And this boss is probably close to dead at this point. Oh, that was pretty unlucky having to, like, wait on all of those rocks to fall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that they spawned in, like, the middle there. So, they couldn't get to the boss. Okay, so they were just about to use the 3 damage attack. But then they killed him.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Get a good old stab in the face, and we're good.
Yeah.
And I guess this is still part of the fight, like the timer's still going.
Yeah.
It's just more to do, or you have to do this.
I think it's just you got to get through all this because you're pressing circle. Or,
So it is input. There we go.
The equivalent. Yeah.
All right,
there we go.
time. Yeah, nice.
5450.
That is quick,
Yeah. So
and
so
it
they ended
also
up
looks quick.
saving over 30 seconds. Yeah, I think that's the big thing too. Is
Right?
it looks really quick.
Yeah, you're saying 30-second PB is pretty
cool.
dang good.
Yeah, that's really solid for a game that's like this heavily
Alright,
competed.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very hard run. I think it's pretty obvious that it looks quite hard, but
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
so that always like the amount of like how
I am
quickly
satisfied with
a
this.
run
I think
gets brought down or optimized
had
is based on like 2
even
factors,
after
like how many
state.
eyes are on it and how hard is it, kind of,
Yeah.
right? Like, because every speedrun is hard at the top level,
could
but
beat it,
when
but,
you're
like,
talking about
I
like
think I'm
if what
going
causes
by
you to
damage.
talk about like 5-second time saves are big versus 30-second time saves are big
The phase 1
is
was,
like
7
part of that
seconds
is can be
slower,
how hard
I
it
think,
is or just how
then
many people are
PB
playing it.
actually
For sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
130.
Yeah.
I remember that number.
All right. Well,
Wow.
let's take a little break and then let's chat a bit more about it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hey, just popping in to say that if you're enjoying this new video format, then please subscribe at the YouTube channel here. Or if you're watching on Spotify or YouTube Music or wherever else you get your podcasts, that's cool too. Follow the podcast, share it with a friend. And if you'd like to support us directly, you can do so at patreon.com/possiblybad. We have a couple of tiers there, but it's not very expensive and really does help us out a lot. And if you subscribe at the Probably Badass tier, then you become an executive producer of the show, like all these wonderful people. Hypiction, Ethan King, Lisa Slack, Perplexpert, Mildew Zero, Professor Hal, and Brian Ward. Thank you all so much for being EPs of the show. And thank you everybody for being understanding about the extended hiatus here. Took me a little bit of time to get everything together, but I really appreciate it. And I'm very excited for this new format, so I hope you are too. That all being said, let's talk more about the run.
All right, welcome back. So we just watched Hollow Knight Silksong, the any percent run. So Newby, thoughts? What'd you think?
I mean, I was very impressed, honestly.
Yeah.
I've never played the game. I've seen casual streams of it for the most part. And I've played a ton of platformers and speedrun a ton of platformers. But I actually found it was like way easier to follow than I may have expected. I was really impressed. I think the movement is incredible. And having that display, the input display on the side, really
Yeah.
kind of shows you what it entails. And it's something.
we here at NFSR always appreciate a good input display. It's gotten to the point where like on my own stream, I don't currently have one, and I'm like so annoyed with myself. Like I need to find a good like way to. I've just never found a good like spot to put it or like way to do it. And
if you want to be on the podcast, you should put an input display in your world record run.
Right. Yeah. No. I also think it's very cool. Like I wish it were a little shorter, just because I know how like short Hollow Knight, the first one can be, but it's not long by any means. It's still under an hour. So that's great. Like, I agree. I think the movement is really sick. I think the combat, when done at a high level like this, is also really cool. I don't know, in terms of like watching the speed run or like watchability of it, I feel like both this and Hollow Knight are pretty similar. I too, when I first like watched it, thought it was gonna be like, oh, well, I'm getting kind of like lost. But I feel like the biomes, like the areas, have distinct enough personalities where even if you don't know where each one is leading, you can tell when you're in a new area, right? Like a new section.
That's fair. Yeah, I find that like I'm almost watching it though because I haven't played it. It doesn't. The knowing where to go type aspect doesn't actually impact me. Yeah, it's just like, there's just one place to go. You're just going the way you're supposed to go. Like if I didn't know, I would just think, you're just going the only path that's available to you, really, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I'd say even like, because like Metroid Dread, for example, is like another Metroidvania that I've watched, or even like Super Metroid and stuff. I'd say like in those, sometimes it can feel like, okay, cool, they're moving through rooms like in a cool way, but like I don't remember what they're going towards, what thing they're getting next, because a lot of it will like look the same to me, or like I know I went through these areas, I just don't remember how they all like connect. And maybe that's part of like why I don't like that feeling of getting lost in games, is like it takes longer for like that mental map to form in my brain. But with this game, because you're just like, because the movement is so flashy and you're just like watching it happen all over the place, you, like you said, you kind of don't care, right? You don't care where they're going next. It's just like, well, that's where they're going.
That's how I felt about it. Yeah, for sure.
How do we feel about like the pacing of the run? I feel like it doesn't evolve a ton over it, but evolves enough. Because there's a lot of Metroidvanias. Like I am a huge fan of Ori and the Blind Forest, and that game evolves a ton, partially because one of them, like the main category for that game, involves getting all of the skills. So it evolves a lot over the course of the run, whereas this has maybe like 3 distinct kind of evolutions. But I think that's fine, because it's just like every room is so varied and like so interesting. So I don't know. What do you think about like the pacing of the run?
Yeah, I think I feel like almost exactly the same as you. I actually liked the length of it. I know you think it's a little bit long, but I think it works really well. There's just so much going on, and I do like the breakup. Sort of like the first 10 minutes, you just have the dive, so you're just doing that over and over. And after about 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, I get it. I've had enough of this stuff. But then you get like the dash, and then you're doing all sorts of like much more interesting movement. And I think it evolves actually really well. I think you're generally given enough time, sort of with each new upgrade, before you get the grapple, and then it's like, okay, you just do whatever you want.
For sure.
There's so many little moments that I love. I noticed there's a lot of verticality in this game, which is very Metroid-y as well, right? Like Super Metroid is very vertical, the original Metroid. And something I love in speedruns, DKC 2 does this, where you fall down like a level, and you're intended to sort of like take your time and sort of go. But in runs like this, and in DKC 2, and in Metroid, you just, all right, I know the path, and you just fall and weave through everything super quickly. That's like some of my most impressive rooms.
Absolutely. There's a pattern I've noticed in a bunch of different speed games that have a dash, where some of them will let you dash downwards, right? And I've noticed over time of like just playing a bunch of different doing a bunch of different speedruns and watching different speedruns, that the downwards dash becomes the skill ceiling element.
Yeah.
Like it will be the thing where I'm like, okay, people are not going to do it at first, because you don't think about it, and you're like, think about how to move through the room. And then like once they really know the movement, that's when you start incorporating those downwards dashes to get like to the ground faster, because it's usually where you can move faster. Right.
Exactly.
And this game does have that, and you only see it like a couple times here and there. I didn't bother pointing it out because it's like it not super prevalent, but it's the kind of thing where like that's going to be the thing that I feel like I see get inserted more and more and more to show that like the run is like really evolving and getting optimized.
Right.
I also love a good speedrun climb. This one, I feel like in this, it's a lot of just like ledge grab, hop up. But once they get like claw line, they're going through like the cog. I think it's called cogwork core, but it might be called something else. They're going through like that area with all the cogs on the walls and stuff. Like that is just my favorite in terms of the movement. It's very cool. You get to like skip all these slow, like little ring cog line thing or claw line things that just like go across, and instead you just climb up all the spikes, because why would you not?
Yeah, it even gave me some like Mega Man X vibes, you know, because you do a lot of wall climbing in Mega Man X and ledge climbing and hopping and stuff. And I was like, this kind of like reminds me of that too in a weird way.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
You know,
I just think that was super cool. Now, in terms of like the difficulty of the run, so I mentioned at the end that I think this run is probably pretty obviously like a really hard run, just because you can like tell how many things do 2 damage if they if they get hit once on something, then you could tell it does 2 damage.
Right.
And like you can tell they're often like, you know, there's enemies everywhere and they're poking off spikes. But I'm curious, like, do you feel the same? Because I think that with a lot of speedruns, sometimes they can be absurdly hard but not look it, and to its detriment at times. That like that's something when we would do like Kingdom Hearts runs at GDQ, if we were doing it on like critical mode level 1 or something, or even just critical mode, we kind of were almost hoping that there would be a death in the run.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because if not, it would like look like they're just breezing through everything, and it's like sometimes you need that to like help sell the difficulty. So from that aspect, like, what did you think? Did the run seem hard? Am I off in that? Or
it is interesting. All of the movement-based stuff seemed very tough for the most part. Although not initially. Initially it was like, okay, you just jump and dive a bunch. But knowing, like, having a little bit of commentary to kind of explain that definitely did make it seem harder. And then everything later on with the movement seems extremely impressive. No question. Yeah. Bouncing off things and just doing, like I said during the run, a lot, incorporating all of your abilities in one seems extremely hard to get down. I will say, from a watchability perspective, that a lot of the combat and the boss fights don't actually look very hard. Personally, having not played the game.
Yeah, of course.
So I think if you played the game, you know it's probably the hardest thing. Like, it's extremely impressive. And I think it's funny coming from a position where I haven't played the game and I don't know a lot of the the tech and abilities and stuff, and it just looks like you're just doing platformer combat and beating some enemies. You know what I mean? Like, you just hit him 20 times, he's dead. Cool. You just dodge the attacks and you're good. So it's interesting, like, at what point do you need the commentary to like help sort of support that, how difficult the run really is.
Yeah, for sure. I think I would agree with you on that, because like, again, I know which enemies do 2 damage, which do 1, like how
I don't know any of
obnoxious
that.
the spacing is, but like, so I could tell which, like, some things are harder, but even things like Lost Judge, where I'm like, I remember this was a notorious thing. It's like, you watch him do it without taking a single hit, I think.
Exactly.
And it's like,
and you just got to stand back and wait for the fire or whatever. And you're like, cool. Like, I mean,
yeah, exactly. So it is a bit odd. And I will say, like, maybe that's a hot take, I don't know, I think the combat is better in Hollow Knight than in Silksong, in some ways.
Yeah.
I really like wanted to like the combat a lot in Silksong, and I think there is far more variety in the combat in Silksong. But you're never going to see the variety in a speedrun, because
that's the thing,
they're
right?
not gonna pick up a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And it has the, like, casually, it has the Mega Man thing that I absolutely fucking hate, which is like a limited resource that is still spent if you die. It is a refillable, like, it's a resource you can get by going and like killing other enemies and stuff. But
still,
if I was on a really hard boss and I was using tools use a resource called shell shards, and I want to try out a bunch of different tools to feel like, okay, like, what's the one that's going to help me like fight this tough boss and like feel like I can figure out the puzzle and like get better at the boss and find the times to weave things in. But if I run out of shell shards, all right, well, now I just have to fight the boss without the tools anyway. So why did I spend any amount of time using the tools? Because, like,
and you're done learning and trying to experiment with stuff. Yeah,
exactly. I'm like, I should, like, it made me stop using tools a lot of the time because I'm just like, well, I'm going to have to end up doing this fight without them. So why am I going to bother like trying, like learning with the tools? Cause I should just learn without it. Cause I'm going to need
Might as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely a game design choice, you know?
Yeah. And it is partially just a personal bias. I hate that in every game that it's in. Like, it was my least favorite part about Link's Awakening was that like magic is a limited resource in that game. And, I really don't like it. I'm like, just give me the things back when I die. Like that's all I care about. Right. Like, then it solves the problem because you just have to have enough when you go in to like, you know, be able to use whatever tools you want.
Yeah.
But I think there are like, it also makes it like really easy to hone in on like a few specific, like a specific loadout or something, even though the game has different ones, which is a really cool aspect of it.
Right.
But in a speedrun context, it also just means like, because you're not going to get any of those tools, you're not going to get any of the other crests and stuff. You have your needle and you've got eventually your claw line and the silk spear, and that's it. Like you don't have a good way to deal with like flying. You could deal with flying enemies by jumping up to their level, but like, I don't know if you remember at High Hall's Arena, there was one point where there was like the guy with the three little bee looking things spinning around him that was just high enough up where they were just like, well, just kind of had to like wait and
until he comes
jump
down
and try to hit him a little bit.
Yeah.
And casually that happens all the time.
Right.
So in a speedrun, the fact that it really only looked like it showed up like that one time is pretty cool. But I remember just feeling like I was always wanting for an upwards attack, which exists in Hollow Knight, like an upwards like bigger attack, you know,
right.
And you just never get one. It's like a lot of your tools are meant to kind of help you with dealing with some vertical stuff, but if you run out of shell shards, then well, you're fucked. Like, you can't use those tools anyways. So I think Hollow Knight has a little bit more variety in terms of like you get a few spells in the run. I mean, you get like one that is your kind of core one, but you can try to get multiple hits with it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's just a little bit of bias because I'm more like I've seen that one so much more. Yeah. And I've watched so many other like randomizers and stuff like that where they use the different like things that it's like blending in my brain. But I think I agree that combat is like from the watchability perspective the weaker side of things here. I definitely think the movement is strong.
I don't think it's too bad. I mean, I think it still looks cool. It just doesn't look as difficult as maybe it is realistically. It's also just, you know, if you're watching like the world record run of this game that you know is really hard, you can kind of infer that like, they put a lot of effort into
of course
learning the fights pretty well. So
it's part of why I like Lace 2 a lot, because the runners are going to be more likely to like take a random hit here and there. And B, it's such a fast paced boss. Like the boss themselves is very fast paced, and your attacks you're trying to like do are very fast. So it feels more like that good like dance combat kind of thing. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I kind of see what you're saying.
Whereas, and same with, in my opinion, kind of Grandmother Silk, because they're able to like just stay on top of them and wail on them so much. I'm always going to be more of a fan of like watching those kinds of fights than watching like fights where they have to like only get a couple hits in per move of the enemy and like watch them like run around. Like I think Widow was one of the ones before Bellheart, like right before Bellheart, where they got the needle in, that I think like can sometimes be a little less interesting to watch. And that's where you have to have somebody tell you like, oh yeah, look, the silk spear hits the wall so they can like attack sooner out of it and stuff. And it's like, those are the kinds of things that I don't think you're going to pick up on very easily without having somebody, you know, bring those up.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Overall though, still very cool. Going to be excited
awesome
for it to, I'm sure, get into AGDQ. So
it probably will, right? It's it's the hot thing. It's, you know, the speedrun's great. So, you know,
I do wish True Ending were shorter, because it's True Ending in Hollow Knight is like a little longer than the length of the run we just watched.
Oh, wow. So it's still pretty good.
Yeah. It's like an hour 15, hour 30, something like that. I don't remember, but it's somewhere in that range. Whereas True Ending in this game is 3.5 hours, which that's 112% in Hollow Knight is 3.5 hours. Like,
right. Yeah, exactly.
You do all of the game in that one, basically. And the time it takes to do True Ending in this game.
Just as like a an action platformer sort of like this too. That's just so long to be doing all that and watching the same sort of same thing over and over.
Yeah. And it's just a lot to like, I'm sure it's got to be very mentally taxing and physically taxing for runners too, right? I feel like our bud Spike Vegito has said that like for platformers, and this game is not just a platformer, but like the sweet spot's around an hour, right? Like 45 minutes to an hour, which is the problem we've had with like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze in the past. Is like it's sadly just like a half hour longer than
it's a little too long
for a run.
Yeah.
But that can often come up. But this is at least for any percent NMG. It's landing right in that sweet spot.
Yeah. And it's only going to get a little shorter too, right? As people keep working on it or finding stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It has been fun. I'll say it's been really fun watching some of the like streams or like just development of these runs and watching some of the people who like maybe Hollow Knight was their first speedrun game. And so like Silksong is like one of the first like times they're doing a game as it's coming out and everything.
Right.
And going like, yeah, like, I don't know. I just don't think there's going to be a big thing. Like, we've already got this pretty optimized. I'm like, dude, it's a month in. Wait until you're 3 years down the line and somebody's found the 20-minute time save. You don't know.
You have no idea. Yeah, exactly. Almost every speed game has that, as long as they get, people keep up with it, right?
Yeah. And it is like, it definitely is a thing where bigger games like this one or like most of the new Zelda releases or Mario releases, like they get so many eyeballs on them so fast now that like they do get, optimized a lot faster. But it is still funny. And like, I feel like it's stupid to commit to a route like within the first month or something. Like just assume somebody might come up with something that upends everything you've learned.
That happens like all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very cool. Well, I'm excited to see where Silksong goes from here. And I hope you all enjoyed. Let us know how you feel about the new video format and everything. Hopefully this should make it a lot easier to watch. Newby, very excited to have you joining me as a regular co-host now. So
I'm excited. This is great. I'm excited to delve into a lot more and, see what's out there. And I like just seeing as much as I can and having a good excuse to keep up with speedruns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. This is going to be super fun. I'm very excited for the future of NFSR. For now, bi-weekly uploads are still going to be the go-to like we were doing before. So just letting folks know it should be coming out. I think this episode's going to come out on
a day in November
if I do everything well. And so it should be every other Saturday. But yeah, let us know in comments of like, Spotify or wherever you have, or just let us know in the comments of the patreon.com/possiblybad, how you feel about the show. Like if you have any like game suggestions, any ideas that, or, if there's anything you did like or didn't like. Seriously, I want to hear the feedback. I'd love to hear. And if you enjoyed it, maybe show this episode to somebody who's a big fan of Silksong. Let them know about the podcast. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one, folks, for another speed game. See you.
Take care.